Ever seen an NBA team get completely exposed for their lies? Well, you're about to witness the most stunning betrayal in recent basketball history unfold right before your eyes. On February 1st, the Dallas Mavericks sent shockwaves through the basketball world by trading away their Slovenian superstar, Luka Doncic. The organization's justification? According to new owner Patrick Dumont, Luka was lazy, out of shape, and lacked the focus to win.
And if you're not doing that, you're going to lose. Oh, man.
Just when you thought it couldn't possibly get worse, on February 26th, they doubled down on their character assassination.
By the way, the smear campaign continues with Luka Doncic,
where Mavericks insiders alleged Luka had weight issues and bad habits like beer and hookah. They even went so far as to predict his career would fall apart within 5 years.
They were predicting his basketball demise in the next 5 years or so.
But here's where the story gets deliciously ironic. Since the trade, everything has played out in complete opposition to what the Mavericks claimed. The Lakers, a team many had written off as a circus, are suddenly back in the spotlight, all because of one player, Luka Doncic. Meanwhile, the Mavericks are crumbling, and it all traces back to the moment they traded him away. The Slovenian superstar hasn't uttered a single negative word about his former team, but every game he plays is a thunderous statement. Tries the three and hits it. The first of many to come for Luka Doncic as a Laker. Luka isn't just proving his former organization wrong, he's making their accusations look more absurd with every breathtaking performance. While Dallas claimed they were built to win now as well as in the future, Luka is proving they just burned their future to the ground.
We feel like we're built to win now as well as in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, does this look like a player with weight issues?
Doncic, step back three. It's good! 19 points for Doncic.
Does this look like someone who spends his days drinking beers and smoking hookah?
Doncic, here's another one over Zubac! Yes, sir!
Does this look like a guy whose basketball demise is coming within the next 5 years?
Moments the other night. Doncic!
Because if you listen to the Dallas Mavericks, that's exactly what they wanted you to believe about Luka Doncic. At the start of the 2025 season, the Los Angeles Lakers weren't just bad, they were a complete joke. LeBron used his influence to get his podcaster buddy the head coaching job of the most prestigious team in the league, then leveraged it again to get his son on the roster.
You gotta love nepotism.
It was a circus, and nobody had them as legitimate championship contenders.
I truly just can't figure out this Lakers team this season.
But then in the middle of the night in early February, everything changed.
Breaking news on SportsCenter this morning. Luka Doncic headed to the Lakers.
25 years old, haven't even reached his prime yet.
Ever since the Mavericks pulled off their scam trade, the Lakers haven't just been winning, they've been dominating. They've had their longest win streak of the season, they blew out a team that's had their number for years, and they beat their biggest rival, a team that has also owned them in recent seasons. And at the forefront of it all, Luka fat and lazy Doncic. We all knew it was ridiculous when the Mavs called Luka fat and lazy, but now he's embarrassing them on national television every single night. Staying with him, tough shot.
Town staying with him. Tough shot. Oh, Luka Doncic. That's a little magic right there.
You don't call a player fat and lazy when he's out here dropping 30 a night. Last season, the man averaged September 9th 34. Those aren't just good numbers, those are better than Kobe's MVP season, better than any of LeBron's MVP years, better than Steph Curry's unanimous MVP season. You can't be fat and lazy and put up numbers like that.
Me out of shape is I can't play, I can't breathe, I can't perform. This man's been first team All-NBA.
The Lakers and Rob Pelinka aren't dumb. They didn't trade Anthony Davis for some overweight, lazy piece of trash who barely plays. Rob Pelinka robs teams, he doesn't get robbed. So I've got to ask you, does this look like a fat, lazy player to you? Or does this look like one of the best players in the world?
How good is Luka? I mean, you get to see him on a day-to-day basis. How special is he?
Special. Luka, I feel like, is this generation's Magic.
Ooh.
One of the biggest insults the Dallas Mavericks leveled at Luka after trading him wasn't just calling him fat, they claimed he weighed 270 pounds in a report that surfaced in early February. Fast forward to early March and the Lakers now list him at 230 pounds. And if you take a look at him, yeah, it adds up. He's about the same size as Draymond Green, who stands at a similar height, so according to the Mavericks math, Luka somehow lost 40 pounds in a month. Now let's investigate that for a second, shall we?
To burn 1 pound of fat, you're gonna burn 3,500 calories.
Well, this is 1 pound of fat. In here is 3,500 calories.
Boom, 3,500 calories, that's a pound of fat.
Any fitness expert will tell you that to lose 1 pound you need to burn about 3,500 calories. So for 40 pounds that's a 140,000 calorie deficit in a single month. And if a month has 30 days, we simply divide by 30, and that means Luka would have needed to be in a 4,666 calorie deficit every single day. Now Google might not be a personal trainer, but a quick search says Luka eats between 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. Throw in a couple of beers, let's round it up to 4,666 calories per day. So if the Dallas Mavericks were telling the truth, Luka would have had to go the entire month of January without eating a single meal, literally surviving on just air.
They predict his basketball demise, highlighting health history. Damn.
Man, that was hilarious. I mean, just look at him on the Lakers. He looks healthier than ever.
Here he is again. Is he hot? He's red hot!
Over the past few games, he's logging about 35 minutes a game, an elite workload for an NBA star. In addition, he's barely missing games, flirting with a triple-double, proving his durability. And let's not forget, he just turned 26.
Happy birthday to you.
Despite all this, the Mavericks said they had health concerns. Now that's already ridiculous given the fact that the man was practically Iron Man last season. But it gets even funnier when you consider who they traded for Anthony Davis.
He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Lobbing to AD at the spin. Uh-oh.
Now I'm not here to slander AD, he's a great player. But let's be real, since 2018 he hasn't played more than 65 games in a season, meaning he wouldn't even qualify for NBA awards. He's literally known for being injury prone. Oh, and he was already injured when they traded for him, and then got injured again in his first game back. Oh, and he's 32 years old. If the Mavericks were worried about Luka's health 5 years from now, then why weren't they just as concerned about AD's health at 37? But hold on, it doesn't stop here. You see, when they traded Luka, I said it immediately, Kyrie is going to struggle because he'll be forced to carry even more. And guess what? Lo and behold, ACL injury. That is obviously a major concern. What's going on right now? Now Nico Harrison said the Mavericks were built to win now as well as in the future. Let's be honest, right now the only thing the Mavericks look like they're ready for is a full-on rebuild. It's easy to call the Mavericks front office stupid and idiots right now, but isn't this exactly what we thought both they and the NBA wanted? I mean, think about it, the NBA's ratings were down, and they needed to fix that. And what's the best way to get people watching again? Get a superstar on the Los Angeles Lakers, because when they're doing well, the NBA is doing well. It's always been like that. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happening. In addition, there was the other half of the story, that the Mavericks' new owners are intentionally running this team into the ground, so they could justify moving the team to Vegas. And right now, it sure looks like everything is going exactly as intended. I mean, franchise player that everyone loved, gone. Fans who are angry. Kicked out, Kyrie, done for the season. Anthony Davis, probably out for the season. Ticket prices while the team is falling apart, going up. This is exactly how you destroy a team. Now some people will say, but when Anthony Davis played against Houston, the Mavs looked really good. Yeah, for 30 minutes. But here's the thing, they knew he was injury prone. They knew he had an abdominal strain, which is literally one of the worst injuries for a player who jumps for rebounds and attacks the glass. And what did they do? They threw him right back in like they were just waiting for him to get hurt again. So if this conspiracy theory is true, what's next? Simple, the Mavericks crumble, the front office says there's no saving them, and boom, they move the team to Vegas. But hold on, if you think that's where this ends, there's one more dark turn to this whole story.
Okay, we're used to seeing players getting ejected from basketball games, but fans? Now that is unusual unless you're a Mavs fan maybe, still bitter over Luka's trade.
Mark Cuban, when he was still the majority owner, loved Luka. He wanted him to be the next Dirk. He even once said he'd rather divorce his wife than trade Luka Doncic. So if that's true, why isn't he furious right now? Yeah, we know he sold the team and is now just a minority owner, but let's not act like 27% is nothing. That's still a big stake in the team. If Cuban really cared about Luka and the Mavericks, he should be losing his mind over what just happened. But instead he's laughing like it's all a big joke. And when fans are chanting "Fire Nico," what does he do?
I turned around at one point to our section and started doing this, "Fire Nico." And then when I turned around, Mark Cuban had stood up out of his chair and turned around and started yelling at me. He pointed at me and looked right at me and said, "Sit down, sit down."
This is a little suspicious, don't you think? If I still own 27% of a team that I built, and the new owners pulled the dumbest move ever, I'd be fuming. I'd do everything in my power to stop it. Now there was a report that Cuban tried to stop the trade at the last second, but here's the hilarious part. Apparently by the time he stepped in, it was too late, because Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka had already sealed the deal with a verbal handshake. Are these guys serious? What the hell is a verbal handshake? Deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars don't get sealed with a pinky promise across my heart, and no backsies. Last I checked, a trade isn't official until it's signed and approved by the league. I mean, let's not forget, when DeAndre Jordan verbally agreed to join the Mavericks in 2015, the Clippers literally camped out at his house and convinced him to back out before anything was officially signed. Something about this just doesn't add up. Mark Cuban sold the team in 2023. He had to know exactly who he was selling to and what was about to happen. As one NBA fan put it, he should have realized these scumbags would pull something like this. He should have added a no-trade clause to Luka's extension, just for insurance. Either Mark Cuban is the most oblivious billionaire on earth, or he knew exactly what was coming, and just didn't care. If there's one lesson to take away from this whole scam, it's this: don't believe things that don't make sense. People will say anything, especially in sports and business. They'll say it with conviction, they'll put it in writing, and they'll repeat it over and over, but that doesn't turn a lie into the truth. Instead of just listening to the words, look at the motives behind them. When you do, the truth starts to slip through the cracks. It's unfortunate, but in a world where profit drives everything, people will do whatever it takes to get ahead, even if it means smearing someone's name in character assassination. Take the Dallas Mavericks for example. Even after the trade, they didn't just move on. They went out of their way to drag Luka's name through the mud. Why? To cover up their own lies. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Mavs' shocking deception, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more NBA analysis that cuts through the noise. Remember, in sports just like in life, actions speak louder than words, and Luka's play is saying everything that needs to be said.